So, hunt the Templars is our duty, but don't drag these men into it. George Washington was being hunted, plotted they were to be killed, but we saved his existence and he left for the Continental Congress. We have defeated and killed Thomas Hickey, who was in the Templars for money. We have killed John Pitcairn, William Johnson, all these people in the Templars for different reasons. But they want the downfall of this unified America, or do they? Considering Charles Lee wants to become part of the Continental Congress, it's basically they want to control, and how they do that is less important than the control itself. So we'll see how their plan uncovers. But we are here with Achilles in the Continental Congress to approach George Washington, but we've got to be careful what we say. We don't want his momentum, historical momentum, to be stemmed with fear. So let us see. Achilles, he is been rejuvenated since our arrival over the past however many years. Difficult to keep track. But in we go. Let's hear from the main man.
We must now all hang together.
There is.
Yes, we must indeed all hang together. Or most assuredly, we shall all hang separately.
You are once more our savior.
I must speak with the commander.
He's gone to try and hold New York. The British intend to take it. I fear we'll need to recall our men from Quebec as well. It's one thing to declare our independence. Now, my friend, we must make it so.
Cage Wolf. Well, I'm pent up here playing this game, but I'm not feeling sad about that. We have just witnessed the declaration signed. They've declared their independence. Samuel Adams saying there that they must make it so.
Everything all right? Sean has located a second power source. I've asked Rebecca to charter a flight for us. Where to?
Brazil.
Brazil? Okay, Desmond. Back as Desmond. Back in 2012. And on our way. Flying. Are we driving to South America? It looks like an airport to me. No, it's a metro. That was a wanted poster for Desmond as well. I'm loving these modern day cutscenes. We see very little of the outside world in Assassin's games.
Rebecca?
Bad reception. Can you hear me?
Well, glad to see that's working. Guess I'll try you back when I'm topside.
So we're in a metro station in some city in Brazil. I'm not sure which city though. Let's have a look at all these things. So we've got some kind of advertisement. Gregorio, I've no idea what that is. An exhibition of some kind. There's a combat tournament going on here. Look, some kind of. Well, it looks like a fight outside. Not in a cage match. It looks like a street fight. Wow. There's a fight going on, a match, and here we are. Wanted. So murder, interstate flight, attempted murder, National Firearms Act. So we have been reported. I'm assuming by Abstergo, because they want us back. Everyone's in shorts and t-shirt. The climate must be necessitate that. Which city are we in? Let's look at this metro station here. I've no idea of the intricacies of any Brazilian city, so don't think that's going to help. No idea. What are you doing, my dear? She is got a bikini on, and they are very stuck. Sorry, you're so stuck. So it's a fight, a combat tournament between Louis Ottavo Duris and Guilherme Venancio. So someone's hurt themselves and someone's ringing up. There's old bikini lady. It's a good job we got our hood. Okay, so what the reason we're in Brazil is we're searching for another power source in order to add more power options to the Grand Temple. We know where to put it, but we haven't got this battery yet. This piece of Eden that powers the temple. So it's likely that Abstergo has got this power source as well.
Copy now?
Loud and clear.
What's the plan?
According to our intel, the power source is being worn as a bracelet by some
Oh,
tycoon's
man.
trophy wife. We're working on pinpointing her location, but she's most likely inside a VIP booth on the stadium's upper level. I'll update you when I know more.
Now to find a ticket.
We don't have time to play nice. Steal someone else's.
Bit of a dick move, don't you think?
Well, I guess you could try and sneak past security instead.
Okay. Maybe the same mechanic as Connor in the prison, but we need to steal something as well. Who shall we steal? Okay, he's encouraging us not to.
Gotta get in there, Desmond. Whatever you do, do it soon, please.
Okay, well, what's going on in here? This is an exit. Oof, it looks like we don't want to get caught here.
That doesn't look like normal security.
Because it isn't. Those are Abstergo agents. Cross is probably here too. You need to be careful.
Okay, I don't know if this is the way we're supposed to go. Right. Can I whistle and... No. Looks like I just need to do this without any assassin skills. We're doing okay. We're doing alright. Hello, you're there again. You look amazing, my dear. You really do. Oh,
Your target's definitely in the VIP area.
Chame
The
a
entrance
segurança
is at the end of
imediatamente,
this
Sylvie.
concourse.
something concourse. What have we got in here? We've got guards questioning someone or other about us. There's more going on in here. There's a bit of commerce. People selling Brazilian flags, t-shirts. And is this part of the fight going on over
There's gotta
here?
be a way to slip past them. A side room, maybe? Hallway? Something?
Side room, hallway. Don't think we can go down there. I'd like to see what's going on there, but I think we might get caught by security. Ah, it's the fight going on in here. Yeah, we can't have a look. It'd be great if we could, but we cannot.
Careful, Desmond. Security is looking for you. Try and stay blended with the crowd. Move too fast and you'll attract their attention. We can't have you getting arrested.
Okay, well, there's a toilets over there. I'm trying to see if there's any security coming our way, but no. Lots of memorabilia, merchandise being sold. for the fight.
Great. They've set up a checkpoint.
I'm telling you, there's definitely a way to get past those guards. If you won't go through them, try going around them.
You're probably right, Rebecca.
You should be okay. Or look for a way around it.
Let's look through here.
Seriously, what is the deal with stadiums and piss troughs? It's disgusting. Who thought they were a good idea?
Troughs are time and cost efficient.
I don't even see a stall in here. What if I have to take a dump?
Yeah, please just mute the microphone if you do.
No time for toilets. Okay, so while this tournament's going on, we are sneaking around the best way we can. So we've been spotted. But they've lost our tail.
Watch your back, you're on here.
Okay. VIP section. How are we going to get in there? Loads of people talking, milling
Looks like I'm
around.
close. Shit. Another checkpoint.
You're gonna have to find another way around. Security's too tight here.
Okay, well that is pretty locked off. We can't get that way. So this might be our only access. Some kind of mechanical area. Okay.
Passam 20 minutos simulando sexo anal e fatura milhões. Quebrou as costas, trabalhando 80 horas por semana.
Dude, what's the matter?
Olha, aconteceu, só isso. A gente não queria que acontecesse. Só aconteceu. Sinto muito.
Okay, heading up. Come on. What's going on here? Through here?
A gente
Yes.
se ama. Pronto, tá aí, tá dito. A gente se ama e
Oh, beautiful.
Eu achava que era meu melhor amigo.
Okay, we're in. I'm imagining we've got to go up there, but I just want to see what's down here. Yep, security. We have made it through. Through and round. Good.
Almost there, Desmond. She's just on the other side of the stadium.
Other side?
So this is a bit like Haytham Kenway at the start. So although we were in an opera house, there's an event going on and we need to commit an action. Haytham assassinated an assassin, but we need to steal a piece of Eden from a tycoon's trophy wife. Now, I wonder if that person is a Templar, someone from Abstergo, but they are things of beauty, so you can see why they're prized. Okay, let's just hide here, see what happens. See what goes on here. Is this guy going to come past us? I believe so. I think we're going to get rumbled here. No. Let's keep going. I'm not going to run. But that guy has turned around and he's walking this way. I'm just going to keep going. The boy has limited knowledge of me, but it is rising. Okay, we're coming in here. Come on. Come on. Bloody hell, we couldn't get through there. Right. We're in the stadium. Okay. We're going across the gantry where all the lights are hanging, but it's a cage match.
The power source should be in one of the rooms up here.
Okay, I'm just going to travel across. Nice. Let's see what's going on here. Oh, some knees to the chest. I've gone to ground here. You going to get him in an arm bar? No. Bit of ground and pound. Back on their feet. Where's Joe Rogan? Okay. Everyone's distracted. Very much like Haytham Kenway. But 400 years later. 300 something years later. Okay, we're in the bar. Is this the VIP area? I am not sure. What the devil? Oh, it's your man. It's Mr. Cross.
Hey!
Hurry, Desmond.
Gotta run after him.
If he gets away with the artifact, we're screwed. You can't let that happen.
Where's he gone? Out of the way of the guards. We've been rumbled. He's knocked over once, that's fine. Where's he gone? Where's he gone? I have no idea where he's gone. Has he gone down here? It might be these sinks, because I know not what they do. Yes, I know. Obviously through here, we're getting shot. Oh, this way. Where's he gone? Thank you for waiting, Daniel.
I fucked up. Ran out of bullets. Can you believe that shit? Out of fucking bullets. He almost died. Jesus.
Okay. Few guys to deal with here. Gotta remember the... Oh dear, about to die. Got to remember to disable, to distract, to disable. That's it, he's out for the count. Done. Daniel, what's going down? How could you wear that on your wrist?
Better move. Okay, head for the metro. I'll hold the train for you.
Well done, Rebecca. Down is the metro system. Luckily the stadium is right next door. Oh, wrong way. Sorry, gents. We're getting away with it. How can you wear that battery on your wrist? Please. So Daniel Cross was a step ahead of us again. Or at least on our tail. So they must be listening in. If he can get into those areas that we are in, he must know. They must be tracking us in some way.
We can get back to Connor whenever you're ready, Desmond. Unless you want to plug in the power source first. Up to you.
We certainly do want to plug in this power source, and I think I know where it is too. I think it is over that way. But what we'll do first is we'll look at our emails, and then we're going to talk to our compadres, see what else they've got going on. So, how do we know what's new and what's not? Like this. Okay, Rebecca, am I the only one who thinks we should buy a few space heaters, maybe a couple of jackets too? It's cold down here. I sort of figured that as we powered the place up, it'd turn on its climate control systems or something. Guess not. Maybe the first civvies liked it this way. All I know is I don't, so I'd really like for us to pick up some sort of heating solution the next time we head out. So, poor Rebecca's cold. She's cold. Annoying. Sean Hastings, yes, you are. Abstergo is definitely onto us. Most of the power sources I was tracking are gone. Guess they're rushing to snap them up now that they know what we're up to. I've got the other cells scouting for us, running interference, trying to grab anything they can. It's just hard with our numbers and their resources. So the assassins at the moment are really, really down to the bare bones. The Abstergo are winning. We're not even underdogs, the assassins. We are just the absolute dregs at the moment. But we're doing the best we can in the small teams and the small cells and playing. It's guerrilla warfare out there. Status. Sean's continuing his search for additional power sources. This is from Daddy. I'm working to coordinate with the other cells, have them doing recon and watching for Abstergo. Rebecca's been monitoring your sessions. I'm hoping to duplicate some of the recordings and send them to other cells for further research. Also hoping there's a way to bypass some of these memories, but synchronization seems to dictate you progress in chronological order. Hopefully someday we'll have a way to move through memories more quickly. Would certainly save us a lot of time in situations like this. Why do you delay? If you do not retrieve the key in time, all the world will perish, and you with it. So this is from Juno. So he's asking us to hurry. Yet you stop to talk or rest. Rest later, when your work is done. Who are you, David Goggins? If I seem aggressive, if my words feel more imperative than requests, it's because I fear that you will not succeed in time, and then all of us are doomed. Yes, definitely David Goggins. So this is to Desmond as well. And the title is Murderers. My father was taken from me by human hands. Okay. Now we're getting a little bit of backstory to Juno. So she has always hated humans in her speech. Minerva and Tinia, or Jupiter, have not exhibited this disdain for human life. But Juno has. And this is probably the reason why. A war, they called it, for their freedom. Her father was taken by human hands. They were not even meant to exist. You were not meant to exist. We conjured you. A mistake, an error that cost us the world. There's real hatred there, like racism. My father would sing to me as a child, soft songs of hope and love, his voice forever stilled when your brutish ancestors took up axe and club, later turned our own work against us. We might have known what was to come and averted it had you not dragged us into the war. This is your fault. A real blame game from Juno. So we've got to watch out for her. We have to watch out for her. What's her end game here? Basically, she's living on. She's long gone, okay, Juno, but she's living on through these pieces of Eden. It's either echoes or she's somehow uploaded her consciousness, a bit like Subject 16. And with these sort of nexus of time type pieces of Eden and various things, we're not quite sure how they're working at the moment, but she's able to react in real time. And it's probably this piece of Eden that predicts the future, and all the variables is able to interact because of some kind of probability system. Not sure. But she blames us. Quite clear there. This is your fault. So American politics, Hastings banging on again here. He's very British, isn't he? He's very blue. You know, it's rather incredible the way your Lunatic Fringe tries to conjure the spirit of the founding fathers to support their various causes. And by incredible, I mean hilarious. They hold up slave-owning, sexist homophobes as if that's some sort of ideal to one should sort of aspire. It's interesting that, of course, we're going through an age now where we're kind of cancelling historical figures because of their acts. So whether they're derogatory to women or races or having owned slaves and things like that. So they've done powerful things historically to change history, but they've done things that are now probably even then are deplorable, definitely even then. But they were accepted, and people of note, people of money, they did own slaves. They did. It's like today it's like investing in say you invest in fast fashion that damages the world. You know it's a terrible company, but you want to do it because you think you'll make money. So they're investing in commodities. So, yeah, it's like an author, Roald Dahl. He was anti-Semitic. He had very negative views towards Jewish people, but he was an amazing writer. So it's kind of my thinking is you kind of, everyone is good and bad and has good and bad in them, and you're also a product of your time. So to cancel someone for one thing and ignore everything else, it's kind of a bit binary, a bit black and white, and some that helps some people, that attitude. But I think you should forgive people their indiscretions because they learn from it over time, and applaud their successes. But anyway, I digress. Sean, so he sort of has picked apart the founding fathers because of their misdeeds and their proclivities. Oh, and in case you think I added that last bit for fun, sodomy was a criminal offence in every one of the 13 colonies except for Georgia, and Thomas Jefferson advocated for the castration of homosexuals. Lovely fellows, these founding fathers of yours. And now there's that new bit of madness with people asking for the removal of textbook references to their slave owning. So it is a bit odd to cover up their discrepancies. Obviously, they're heroes, founding fathers, have every right to be proud because they claimed independence for a country that I don't live in, but those that do, some of you viewers here are very proud of. Fair enough. But to whitewash the bad things, not so keen on that. It's important for everyone to know that people are good and bad. Nobody's perfect. Before you think to turn it back round, point out their barbarism was inspired by English law. Last I checked, two stupids don't make a smart. Well, you know, it's all inspired by biblical references, isn't it? Every one of these laws stems down from the Bible, and the Bible was used for control over time, to control society. And before you think to turn it back round, two stupids don't make smart. I thought the whole point of the revolution was to break free of the old ways, and it certainly doesn't recommend your founders as the sort of persons one should aspire to become, unless you aspire to become an omniscient bigot. Lest you think I'm championing some sort of leftist agenda, Sean isn't left. Sean is right as you like. I'll gladly shame the internet tough guys who celebrate the Treaty of Tripoli as well. Shame on them for thinking it shows anything other than something straight out of the first grader's guide to international relations. Its intent wasn't to prove America wasn't a Christian nation. They were saying they weren't going to reignite the Crusades. No, that would be delayed for a couple of centuries. Now, I don't believe your founding fathers wanted to establish a theocracy, and they probably did intend for the country to be welcoming of all religions, but this isn't proof of that. I suppose the point I'm trying to make is that people might want to spend a little less time romanticising and manipulating the past, and a bit more time focusing on how to improve the future. That's not to say there isn't plenty to be learned from, looking back, because there is. It's just that most of those lessons wind up ignored or perverted these days. At its best, it's disingenuous and unproductive. At worst, and often, it's rather dangerous. I believe in a fair amount of that, Sean. I think we put on a pedestal people of the past, and people that wrote documents or texts years, tens, hundreds, thousands of years ago. It's all got to be questioned. It's all got to be updated. It's all got to be constantly debated in order to make things, right. I don't think that was written by Sean. That didn't sound like Sean at all to me. Okay, emails caught up. Rebecca?
So, what's the latest? Learn anything interesting while you were exploring?
They were working on some weird stuff towards the end. Trying to engineer new bodies and store their minds inside computers.
Failure after failure. It must have been hard for them.
I worry about it too. I mean, they say there's something in here that'll help us, but what is it? Why is it locked up if it's exactly what we need?
I don't know. Maybe it's dangerous. Maybe they wanted to make sure only you could reach it.
That's the other question. What makes me so special?
I guess we'll know once we open the door.
Okay, I'm going to come back and talk to Rebecca, because I think what was discussed there was something that we might be learning when we hand the battery over. So let's go and do that first, and then come back and talk to these guys. Right, so last time we put a battery in, there was a bit of activity behind that wall over there, and this opened up for us. So let's have a look in here. In a live stream, when I first started these games, when I first started the game on a live stream, it's now a Let's Play obviously, I tried to get up here to no avail. we kind of needed that last battery. So I think we may have even discussed something with Juno. I'll try and dig that out if we have. Don't know how I'm going to do that. I might look it up online. Okay, so is this... We need to get to speak to the good lady over here. Looks like we can do it from here. No? Let's keep going round. I struggle with this as well. I think it might be down here. Lots of struggling. Lots of struggling. No, I think this is going back to the bottom. We're going back to the start. Oh, this is it. This be it, we reckon. Juno, how do you know? How do you know what we are? You hate us because we killed your father. But that was so far away in time. So far away in time.
Wonder what stories the temple will tell me today.
So something moving up this time. Another area opening up for us right by Rebecca, I think. Okay, that's going to give us access to another story. Let us go in there, even though... Oh, what do we do here? What do we do? We want to get out, don't we? How do we get out, you mothers? All of a flutter. Yes, I believe we talked to Juno last time. Let's try this way. That way? Maybe. Maybe. Or maybe not. Dead! Here we go.
I'm telling you, there's something down here.
Don't be daft.
I don't know, maybe they were sleeping or something and we woke them. Some kind of cryogenics? Or hibernation? I mean, how do we know what the hell they were doing down here?
They were working on a bunch of different solutions, but nothing worked. Just went from one to the next, and then... I don't know. They must have left at some point. After the end.
I wonder what the world would be like if they'd succeeded.
I'm more concerned about what it'll be like if we don't.
Salvation. They found a way. Too late for them, but not for you. Sealed to protect it. Though now it bars your way. Find the key. The past will tell.
Okay, so there's a new door open somewhere. I believe it's here. Let's not go in and listen to Juno too readily. Let us wait until we get the next key. Is it this way? Yes, it is, I believe. Yeah, I think that opened up in some way. Yes, it did. So we will listen to Juno's diatribe next time we find a battery. But let's go and finish our conversation with Rebecca. Then talk to Daddy. Then talk to our friend Sean. And then we will head back in to the memory of Connor Kenway and the trouble going on during Revolutionary America.
Hey, I hope it's not uncomfortable for me to ask, but what happened with Lucy?
I don't know.
I'm sorry, I shouldn't have said anything.
No, it's fine. I really don't know. I was talking to my dad about it. It's hard to say. I mean, Juno definitely took control, but I think I agreed to it on some level. I think I let her in. No. That's not right. It wasn't her. Not exactly. It was more like a program. Does that sound weird? It showed me things.
What'd you see?
That if I didn't stop Lucy, Abstergo would get the apple, and we'd all be dead.
I still don't understand why she turned on us.
I'm sure she thought she was doing the right thing.
That's interesting. We've not heard that before. Not heard that from Desmond, that he was kind of, it made sense to him. So it wasn't free will in a sense, but his mind was filled with the reason to do it, the overwhelming reason to do it. And his mind was just corrupted to pull his hidden blade, to walk over to Lucy and to gut punch her in the stomach with it. And they both fell. Lucy died. Desmond's mind was fractured, and he had to be put into the Animus, into that sort of test program, to just while they tried to figure out how to keep him alive, to bring him out of this coma. But while I was there, Subject 16 and him, they had their own adventure. But we're back in the real world now, and we've got friends to speak to that aren't crazy.
I gotta get back to work. You might want to do the same.
Yeah, not before we speak to Daddy. Oh, Daddy, it's so good to be back in the bosom of the family. But where is Mummy? Why won't you let us speak to Mummy?
Come on, son. We got work to do.
Okay, is that it? Yeah, Daddy's not so talkative now. I think we've said all we need to say. It's one of those relationships, you know. You know what I mean? It's we're not good. We're not great talkers. We kind of know what we need to do, and a lot of things are left unsaid and spoken in different ways. It's not the most healthy of relationships, I have to say. Not one built on communication. But perhaps they're gaining some kind of mutual respect and understanding of each other's personalities and the reason why he ran away, the reason why William Miles was so domineering and overprotective. Sean, we're going to say, mate, kind of enjoyed your email, if a little, binary itself.
Oh, unbelievable.
What's up?
Your politicians are constantly referencing the Founding Fathers and insisting they must have been in support of one thing or another. I have never seen such a blatant disregard for history.
That's just typical political propaganda.
It's also dishonest and delusional. How can anyone claim to know what these people wanted based off scraps of paper and wishful thinking?
They're looking for intent. What these men envision for our country and its future.
Idealistic and unlikely. I don't think most of your presidents and senators and judges care what the founders thought. They just want to know how they can bend old words to achieve modern goals. Who cares if they were deists or theists or wanted a central bank? Why do people need the validation? What should matter is what you, as an individual, believe, and why you believe it. What, are we so insecure that we have to find 18th century letters to validate our beliefs? Oh, look, Mum, a dead man agreed with me. Maybe. If you transpose the letters in his shopping list, you can plainly see he was on my side.
Jesus, Sean. It's a cynical way to look at it.
Doesn't make it less true.
It's kind of, yeah, it's an overblown argument on what is technically true, as far as I can see. But if we get into the context of the game and who wrote this dialogue, this isn't an American company. This is a European company, a French company. I'm not sure why they were putting in this counter-argument through it, but if it was written from a French point of view, they've gone through the same thing. Yeah, they have both freed themselves from the French freed themselves from a monarch, and so did the Americans in a way. So they've both been through this revolution that they're very, very proud of. So I wonder what the French think of the American Revolution. It's interesting. And of course I do know that we experienced the parts of that revolution in unity. Is that correct? Is that during the revolution in France?
I'm trying to understand how men like Washington and Jefferson could dedicate their lives to the pursuit of liberty and equality, yet have no problem owning slaves. It's hypocritical in the extreme, and your history books make only passing mention of the subject, as if it were of little consequence.
They had a war to win. Country's future to secure. How could they deal with all these issues at the same time?
Spoken like a true apologist. We hear it today, too, that matters of civil rights and equality must wait. There are conflicts to settle, economies to salvage. What do any of these things matter if the people are not free and equal? All of them.
It is hard to separate, really hard to separate. But you can only... You just got to try and empathise with the times, I guess. Now it wouldn't even be. It's deplorable then, but deplorable now to think of someone doing good while they are oppressing someone. To think of a human being as any less than yourself because of race or circumstance, that is deplorable. Absolutely deplorable now. But people did it then, and they endeavoured to do good, and they thought of themselves as good people. And they might have thought, oh, it's a bit wrong. You can think about vegetarians and vegans now. Anyone that eats meat, it's deplorable. You're killing a living thing to feed yourself. It's absolutely deplorable to them. But other people that do good things eat meat. Not making the comparison there between races and animals. I'm just trying to empathise with a modern twist. I'm probably going to delete that section because I don't know what I'm talking about. Oh, any more from Sean? Or is that your lot?
I wish there was a way for us to share what we learn from the Animus with others. Imagine being able to accurately answer questions about the past, or experience lost civilizations.
But how would you cite it? We can't just reveal the machine's existence to the world.
Why not?
Desmond's right. It would be dangerous. And we still haven't found a way to manage the bleeding effect.
Maybe when we're done saving the world, we can look into it.
Even if we do manage to stave off the apocalypse, it's not like the Templars are simply going to disappear. I suspect our fight will continue long after this latest battle is finished.
Well, I think that's correct, because there's a good few games to come after that. The fight continues, and I hope it all is well.
Oh, look at the time. Oh, doesn't time fly? Look, I think it's best we get you back in the Animus, Come on, chop chop. We need to find that key, Desmond. It's not going to happen with you out here, is it?
No, I guess it's not. Okay, so we're all caught up. Let's see if William can be coaxed. I very much doubt it. No, he doesn't want to know. Okay. So very vocal from Sean there, saying he's sort of very anti-American pride. He's trying to equalise the thing to people to think that they're people. They do bad things. All people do bad things, think bad things, say bad things. So stop being so prideful. But I don't know. Not sure it's necessary. Anyway, not sure it's necessary me talk about it while I play this, but never mind. Just trying to comment. Let's get back in there.
Oh, look at that. I found a third power source.
Already?
Already?
It popped up in an earlier search, but I've only just managed to confirm it.
Where?
There's a museum in Cairo with one on display.
I guess Connor will have to wait.
No, you stay. We need to find that key, and time is running out. I'll make the trip.
What about Cross?
Everything's going to be fine. I'll be back soon.
Okay.
Ready when you are, Desmond.
I wonder if that's Ubisoft saving a little bit of money by designing another environment.
Winter approaches. The air is still and sharp with grim expectation. The others sense it too and go about their work with uncommon urgency. I would like to help them, but more pressing matters now demand my attention. The Templars have targeted George Washington directly, and will not rest until he is dead. I had hoped to shield him from this knowledge, but Thomas Hickey ended any hope I had of staying silent. And so I have resolved to share everything I know, of the Templars and their plots, of who I really am. Achilles finds fault in this, and we argue every day, but there is simply too much now at stake to maintain restraint.
Connor is angry.
Don't do this, Connor!
Then what would you propose we do? Sit and watch while the Templars take control? We are sworn to stop them, or have you forgotten?
Assassins are meant to be quiet, precise. We do not go announcing conspiracies from the rooftops to all who pass by.
Who are you to lecture anyone? You locked yourself away in this crumbling heap and gave up on the Brotherhood entirely. Since the day I arrived, you've done nothing but discourage me. And on the rare occasions you've chosen to help, you've done so little, you may as well have done nothing at all.
How dare you!
Then tell me, on whose watch did the Brotherhood falter? Whose inaction allowed the Templar Order to grow so large that it now controls an entire nation?
If I sought to dissuade you, it was because you knew nothing. If I was reluctant to contribute, it was because you were naive. 1,000 times you would have died and taken God knows how many with you. Let me tell you something, Connor. Life is not a fairy tale, and there are no happy endings.
No. Not when men like you are left in charge.
In your haste to save the world, boy, take care you don't destroy it. Ha!
In your haste to save the world, take care you do not destroy it. What a line from Achilles there. But it does strike me that Achilles is not a man of action and hasn't been for some time. And Connor is right. He's come in and he's been rejuvenated, but still he is reserved. So experience is great. Experience is wonderful, and we do become more economical with our actions. But we also stop trying to force situations, and we try to stop innovating, because we think we know the tried and tested routes that we need to take, and we stop experimenting. That's what age and experience does. It's a double-edged sword, I think. So any major team has exuberant, creative, experimental young people as well as wisdom. I think both need to go hand in hand. Let's look about Thomas Jefferson. So Thomas Hickey, Alexander Hamilton. I've heard about him. I don't know too much. I've got a biography of his on my Kindle ready to read. So it'd be nice to know more about him. Independence Hall, Thomas Paine. Right, let's read about Thomas Hickey updated. I think we may have read this. So history tells us that Thomas Hickey was hanged for sedition in front of 20,000 troops as an example. That's an interesting interpretation of events, but since New York didn't have a stadium seating at the time, I doubt many of the soldiers had a great view of the execution. The important message for them was, don't be a traitor, you'll get hanged. Okay. Alexander Hamilton was one of George Washington's trusted advisors during the American Revolution and the first Secretary of the Treasury. Hamilton was born in the West Indies in 1957 and was orphaned at the age of 11. However, his cleverness showed early, and his employers pooled their money to send him to university. Either that, or they just wanted him out of the building. Hamilton moved to New York in 73 and began attending King's College. By 74, he was writing pro-rebel articles, not really in the spirit of attending somewhere named after the king. And by 75, he joined the volunteer militia. Hamilton fought during the occupation of New York in 76. He was a natural leader, and George Washington appointed him aide-de-camp, a job he held for 5 years. However, Hamilton was eager to get back into battle, and in 81 he commanded troops during the decisive victory at Yorktown. Hamilton became a member of Congress. In 88 he developed a particular fixation on the funding of the federal government, which at the time was broke, as it was allowed to demand any taxes, as it wasn't allowed to demand taxes from the member states. In 87, Hamilton was named the first Secretary of the Treasury, where he fought for a strong federal government in heated opposition with Thomas Jefferson, who promoted state rights. Hamilton was responsible for creating much of the foundation of the US fiscal policy, the details of which are probably important. Okay, let's read about the Declaration of Independence. You may not have heard this one. This is the document in which the 13 colonies formally declared their independence from the British Congress, voted to accept the declaration on July 4, 76, celebrated the day as Independence Day. It wasn't actually signed on July 4th. The first signatures weren't added until the declaration was formally transcribed sometime around the beginning of August. The final signature wasn't added till 77. The Declaration, with its statement that all men are created equal and that they had the right to life, liberty and pursuit of happiness, became an inspiration for other revolutions that came after it, most notably the French, against the very government that supported the Americans in their bid for independence. That's strange, isn't it? Okay, who's this Thomas Paine? Paine was a political pamphleteer, originally from England. His book Common Sense was an argument for American independence and became one of the most popular books in American history, mainly because Americans thought it was a book about common sense and on some level knew they needed it. At that time, most of the literature about independence was written by lawyers and politicians in the kind of self-important, florid language that could only be understood by college graduates. However, Common Sense lived up to its title. It was written in a straightforward language, so basically anyone could understand its arguments. While the book wasn't what convinced Congress of the value of independence, it did cause its groundswell of popular support, and that was important because Congress needed the public on their side, and they needed to convince soldiers to fight for them. Common Sense did both. I don't have any record of Connor actually meeting Paine, but I thought you'd like to know about him as his works played such a crucial role in the Revolution. Okay, there's lots of things about streets and the Boston Brawlers and Independence Hall, and yeah, we'll get to that. But we did see something about Thomas Jefferson, so let's try and search for that. People? Individuals? I swear I saw Thomas Jefferson. Thomas Hickey? Maybe I misread it. It was Thomas Hickey, updated. Or maybe it's in documents. Okay, no, it's there. Let's try again. Declaration of Independence, we read that one. Let's look in recent. Come on, Jefferson. Damn it. Okay, we're going through the snow here. Where are we off to? We're off to see our main man, right? Off to see George Washington. So Hickey's assassination plot has been foiled and the American colonies have declared their independence. As winter sets in, Connor anticipates a new Templar attack. He struggles to how to share the news with Washington. So he's struggling. Come on. He's struggling because he's being advised not to tell him, not to stem the flow of Washington's work with fear. A distraction they think he doesn't need. The assassins can do that work. They can try and stem that flow. Do they need to inform George Washington, to tell Washington about this centuries-long struggle, about this secret, about the ones that came before the first civilization, and what they know of that? Can we jump over this? We can. Horse can't. Okay, so we're on our way, and imagine on this ride through the snow, through this change in weather, we've got a lot of thinking to do. Achilles' words are going to be ringing in our head. Our own sort of dichotomy of what we're going to do. Only time will decide. If you would like to support me in these playthroughs and story videos over on the main channel, you can do so via Patreon, where patrons will get to see all episodes and videos well in advance. In fact, if you want to see the next episode of this playthrough right now, click the Patreon link in the card or in the description. If not, take a look at one of these in the meantime. See you next time.